a bit and go to our brothers and sisters at the ministry to persons with disabilities, our brothers and sisters who have one form of disability or the other. You know, we keep mentioning that having a disability does not mean you cannot do anything. There's a lot and a lot and a lot you can do. And I'm sure this morning, Pastor Alexander Nyami will be very proud and happy that I'm saying this and talking about this. We're going to have a conversation, and this is a conversation on disability inclusive hexathon. We'll come and talk about it really, but my guest today in the studio is Engineer Dr. Millicent Agangiba, and she's the head of IT at UPSA, University of Professional Studies, Accra, and she's also a senior lecturer at UPSA. But she's here today representing Inclusive Tech Group, and they are organizers of this disability inclusive hexathon that I'm talking about. My guest again, Engineer Dr. Millicent Agangiba. Engineer, good morning.
Good morning.
And thank you for joining us.
And thank you for having me.
Right. So let's start. First of all, when we say disability inclusive hexathon, really what is it about? I know this is the third edition, but what is that program about?
All right. So the disability inclusive hackathon is about persons with disability coming together with technocrats to co-create solutions that persons with disability will use.
Oh, okay.
So, yes, many a times the technocrats want to sit and assume that this is perfect for the blind, this is good for the deaf persons. But actually, I started this at the back of a 4-year PhD research I did. And it's one of the fallout in terms of the practical implication that we need to design innovative solutions for persons with disability, with persons with disability.
Right.
And so if you say you want to design an innovation for the blind, it means a blind member is part of your team.
Yeah.
And you take his or her input and incorporate that to make sure that it's user-friendly for them. Yes. So that is what it's about, bringing together persons with disability and technocrats to create solutions for persons with disabilities.
I see. Dr. Augustine Anami, good morning this morning. I'm sure she'll be very proud of what you are doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
She was our judge last year, so she knows about it.
Oh, I see.
She knows about it.
I see. Great, great. So I understand this is the third edition. Tell me about the last two you held before this one. How successful was it? Already you've mentioned Dr. Augustine Anami joining, but how was it?
Okay, so we started in 2021, and I'll say that it's been very successful. Truth be told, anything, if you are starting for the first time, it's not easy for people to understand and have a good appreciation of what you're looking at. But 2021, when usually what we do is that we announce for a call. So we open up application for teams to apply with ideas, innovations that they think can support persons with disability. Because overall, we want to increase visibility for persons with disability. We want to foster more social inclusion so that we can do away with the perceptions people have about persons with disability. And very importantly, we want to improve upon the quality of life for persons with disability. So when we announce the call, it's mandatory that every team should have a person with disability. So the very first edition, that was a challenge because we had people banging on our doors. I don't know anyone with disability who can do this. I don't know.
But they wanted to be part of it.
But they wanted to be part, you know. They are technocrat. They think they have a fantastic idea. And I quite remember one of the team even calling and saying, oh, I have this great idea for blind people and I want to do it. I don't know anybody blind. Can we blindfold and try to, one of our teammates and try to use it, because in the end we want you to demonstrate that what you are saying works. So your blind teammate is the one who should be using that for us to believe. Now they told us they wanted to blindfold one teammate so that he would demonstrate. And I was like, seriously, we are not simulating disability. We want real cases. So what we did was to try and link them up with persons with disability. So we work closely with Ghana Blind Union and with a lot of disability organizations, including the Ministry to Persons with Disability at COP. So we had to link them to persons with disability that link up with them. they are much excited to work with you to develop solutions that they can use. And so that worked. So gradually, I think it has gotten better. They themselves are getting to. They are excited about the fact that now we have people with disability. We know what they can do, their capabilities, and we are friends. Yeah.
Tell me about these two previous editions you held. What were some of the results, the breakthroughs that came up? I don't know what kind of solutions that came up, but any that you can particularly mention that we can celebrate about. Edition who will be the way by, and today we can celebrate. We have this or that.
Okay, so the very first edition, the team. So we usually have 3 winners: the first, second, and the third.
Okay.
The team that won was made up of blind, 2 deaf persons, and then 1 hearing person. So the lead or the team leader was a deaf person, a programmer for that matter. He was the lead programmer. So what solution he proposed was based on experience. The fact that he had a call that he was going to get opportunity for a job, and he couldn't pick up the call because he knows he can't talk to the person, and he can't also hear the person. And later on, when he got somebody say, please call this number and let me know what they want, it was like, it's too late, right?
Okay.
So he thought of a design whereby if the call is coming through for a deaf person, the app could allow him to pick the call, and whilst the person is talking, it will be translating to text for him. So he could quickly read and get along.
Okay.
And not only that, but he can quickly type and be talking to the person. So as he's typing, it will speak in voice on his behalf to the individual.
Oh, this is beautiful.
Yes,
I should see that gadget. Gadget.
I think Pastor Nyami knows him. Leslie in Eastern region is part of the ministry persons. Later I came to discover that, but then I didn't know. So that was what they proposed for the deaf community. And then those who came second, they prototype a smart stick. So we don't just want the normal cane, but a cane that is quite smart. It can detect objects as they walk. It can give them alerts and more information so that they are much more independent, in terms of moving for the blind. And if Kekeli was here, she will tell you that.
We're actually expecting Kekeli to join us. She's one of the winners. For some reason, she couldn't join us on time.
So Kekeli has used that stick for more than 6 months now. Usually what happens is that because it's just 3 days, what they are able to do is a prototype, And so we provide mentorship for them to implement it after as part of winning. So, of course, I must say this with a lot of caution because you can force the horse to the riverside, you can't force it to drink, right? So we want to encourage them to implement it, but some few things like, oh, we got a prize and we are cool. But quite a number of them also sign up and then we take them to implement. So the smart stick was one that we took them to implement. Initially, it was quite bulky. Later on, they made the components very small, so it was detachable. You can just attach it to any stick at all, any walking stick that you use, and then it will become smart, right? And you can just use it.
This is beautiful. We'll come and talk about the main event and whether applications are still being opened and all that. But just this last one, how easy is it for persons with disabilities to be involved in this competition? I understand the fact that you need them to help test whatever solutions that are being created. But like you said, to know that a person with disability is doing programming, coming up with, that's impressive. And I love that. It goes to tell us that having a disability really does not mean that you cannot do anything and you are useless and all that. How easy is it for you and for persons with disabilities involved in things like this?
All right. So what I would say is that for the disability community, they are super excited about this hackathon and they look forward to it every year.
Great.
Because first of all, it gives them a lot of visibility as to what they can do, right? And you know, the tech space and generally STEM, there is that gap when it comes to persons with disability. In Ghana here, a person with disability, especially the blind, deaf, I mean, going into STEM is quite a challenge, right? So they see it as an avenue to say that, look, we can also be involved in the tech space, right? Yes. And one of our sponsors over the past 3 years has been Google, and you know, it's a tech giant. And so when they saw this kind of potential, at a point they got to us and they wanted CVs of some of the people because they had a project and they wanted to see if somebody with disability can be on it for inclusion. And so this is the kind of opportunity and visibility we're creating for them through this program, that once you come there, you're able to appreciate the talent they have and yes, and to harness it for the benefits of humanity.
Right.
Yeah.
My guest this morning is Engineer Dr. Millicent Agangeba, a senior lecturer at UPSA Accra. She's also at the head of IT there. She's here. They are organizers of Disability Inclusive Hexathon. It's the third edition, actually, being organized by Inclusive Tech Group. Now, let's talk about the event itself. When is it happening? How is the process like before you finally get to your winners? And where is it going to be held? Applications open. Maybe sending it in one. Let's take it one after the other.
Yeah,
So where is it happening? Maybe let's start with this. The theme, transformative solutions for inclusive development, the role of innovation in fueling an accessible and equitable world.
Yeah. Yeah. So we want, through innovations, to create an even playing field for persons with disabilities. And many a times we will say that technology is making things easier, but actually technology is making things possible for persons with disability, and that's a very big difference. And so we want, through innovations, that's why we say fueling. So we want to push to a space where we all have equal playing field. If a person with disability is at the university, he can comfortably work, has access to labs and resources that he can use. You know, they are all involved because technology will help them to be able to, you know, perform just like the non-disabled persons. And so that is what we're looking for, innovations that can actually propel that, yeah.
Right. Okay. So where is it going to be held and when?
Yes, so let me get back a bit. You talk about applications, if it's open.
Yes,
no,
yes.
Unfortunately, applications
closed.
You're
close.
No.
Oh, too
so bad. It was open from 16th of September up to the 30th of October. So
and responses, how?
Yes, the responses have been good. Of course, we had to even extend it a little by almost a week, you know.
Okay.
But we closed that, and always we have committee in place, and the committee, we differ it year by year, who will look at the applications that have come through, the ideas, and then they will advise which ones are exciting that they would like to see, because we just have 10 teams coming to showcase their talent, yes. So those 10 teams have been chosen, they've been notified, and in fact, we've done a pre-hackathon webinar for them already. So with the webinar, we try to tell them what we expect of them, what the judges are looking for, how we expect them to work in unison, and also we want to understand some of their preferences in terms, since we'll be serving some snacks and lunch, you know, any allergies and all that. We want to cover those areas, and then also the accommodation, because sometimes you have people coming as far as from the north. Yes, like last year we had somebody from one of the teams. So we want to see to the fact that they are comfortable. We make some provision in terms of accommodation, which is affordable, that they can, and then where most of them will be, try to bus them to the venue. So the venue is the Kofi Annan ICT Center for Excellence.
Oh, just here?
Yes.
Oh, and then we'll be there. Morning,
Not the
afternoon, evening.
peacekeeping one. Oh.
Okay.
The one at the ministry, near the Ministry of Communications
Oh,
and
and then you come
Digitalization.
back to me watching it. And then
Yeah, the ICT. The one here is the peacekeeping.
Yes,
Yeah, so the ICT center, and
It's
they
still
are
close, we'll
also
be there.
one of our partners giving us
Yes.
good discounts.
I was
so,
just going to ask you how you fund. We have just about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
More. How you fund this whole program? Because I know Inclusive Tech Group is an NGO.
Yeah. Yes. So thankfully we have companies, we have organizations that when we put this concept together, they have a good appreciation of what it means and the impact that it can make for persons with disability.
Right.
So over the years, we've had Google Ghana, very consistent sponsor for all our editions. We've had PwC Pricewaterhouse throughout all the editions. They've been with us. UNESCO Ghana has been with us, supporting. And so, yes, it goes to speak volume about what we're doing and the impact, right?
And this year, Pent TV, we're also on board.
Yeah, you're on board, and I'm excited about it, you know.
We'll be there, Me, myself, I'll be there.
Yes, and thanks to Pastor Nyame, also the Ministry of Persons with Disability, are also very happy and excited. So, yes, we want to impact more lives, and we want that to be very visible, and we want people to see the potentials that persons with disability have. Yeah.
All right, our time is up. We need to go for sports, but let me give you the opportunity to, this is your camera. You can look into it. Final words to our viewers, your partners, and all those watching for the 3rd edition of Disability Inclusive Hexathon. What do you have to say?
Yeah, all I want to say is that, in fact, we really appreciate our sponsors who have been with us all these years. We say thank you very much. To our partners, we are very grateful to them. I cannot list all of them, like Pent TV here is one partner, you know, helping us. And we also want to say thank you to all the teams, you know, even those who won for the previous year, how they keep shining out there and doing various things to, you know, tell the story that, yes, indeed, persons with disability, they are just people with different ability. And so there is a lot that they can do. And if we create a more inclusive society, we can harness their full benefits. Yes, so thank you, everyone.
Engineer Dr. Millicent Agan Kiba. That's her name, and she's leading the Inclusive Tech Group, organizing this program, Disability Inclusive Hexathon. She's a senior lecturer at UPSA and also the head of IT there. The venue is the Kofi Annan Center of Excellence in ICT, and the date is the 28th to the 30th of November 2020. Is it open to the public? Can we come and watch?
Yes, you can. You can come and watch. Yes, because we love it when people come to see, and it's like, wow, you know, because the first edition was at Accra Digital Center. So Kofi Annan was last year, and one of the directors they happened to pass through. It's like, this is interesting. And so this time we are coming on board as partners, right? Great. So that is it.
All right. So let's all go and support this program. I'll be there myself, and I'm hoping that you will also join us. Doc, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. It's time for sports now. Agude and his team. Well, today is Alex Obo, aka Helep, who is coming up. But again, we want to thank David Ansan. If you check here, you see that his design, Pent TV, Jesus is there, donated to Pent TV. Thank you for doing this beautiful thing. He's a young guy who is also coming up and doing this amazing work. God willing, we'll meet on the 28th to the 30th of November 2023 and join this Disability Inclusive Hexathon. My name is Kwabena Mante. Enjoy the rest of the program. It ends at 10. Tomorrow, by God's grace, we'll be here to serve you again. Bye-bye.